Ho, ho, ho. Welcome back to the daily grind. That was my French accent. I think I was pretty good. Welcome to the daily grind. For those of you who heard my French accent, I will explain it later. It's Monday, y'all. I got Uncle Buck with me. How are you, sir? Yeah.
I'm good, man. I mean, all things considered, I mean, it was, most of the time a 4-day weekend because I did just go ahead and take Friday off like the rest of
Yeah.
America, right?
Yeah,
Like,
obviously.
nobody went to work on Friday, right? And so,
Nope.
like any other 4-day weekend, it's more work than like a 5-day work week.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to that, I'm sure. But like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm ready to reset myself with a Monday and get back into a routine and just.
I wish we should make a petition for so have like up to the 5th be the observance of July 4th.
Right.
And then you have until the 10th off where you can just be like, let's calm down. I did a lot. I blew up stuff because that's what we do here.
Right.
I probably did physical activity. I probably drank too much. It's like you got married. What are you, 7?
How many people still have all 10 fingers?
Oh, I thought you were pointing to your wedding ring, and I was like, I don't understand.
Oh yeah.
I learned at an early age you don't hold on to a bottle rocket, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, I'm ready to get back to a normal week, ready to get back to basketball because we get some summer league tonight, which I'm really excited about for some of it. But I want to start the show off with something that I know is really, really, really near and dear to your heart. The nation of France. I know that you are a Francophile.
Easy.
I'm sorry. That's like Chandler Parsons.
I love what they do with potatoes. They give them that.
Fries are great. All kidding aside, I wanted to the news with all the new coaching hires and whatnot have been coming out, and this was the guy that seemingly got this is the guy that caught my eye, at least. Let's see if we butcher it. Thomas Isalo? Is that it? Isalo, because he is French. Thomas Isalo. Please forgive me, sir, if you were watching this. He is one of the new people joining the staff, which I didn't know. I don't know when the story released, but I didn't realize there were only 2 guys that were kept. Anthony Carter, and then what's his face? The guy
St.
I always forget.
Andrews.
St. Andrews.
I
want to call him St. Bernadette, and that's not right. I don't know why I want to call him that. But yeah, St. Andrews. Those are the only 2 coaches that are being retained.
Yeah. So before I get to our boy Thomas or whatever his name is, that was shocking. I mean, maybe it's because I've got such a college football background to me, but it's like, or in the NFL, you've got Black Monday, like the Monday after the last game where everybody gets fired. And for us to find out that he has gutted his whole coaching staff the day before summer league is weird, right?
Dude, Blake Ahern, he was the assistant coach for 5 seasons.
Yeah, Blake Ahern. That's a name I actually know.
Never heard of him now. He got kicked to the curb.
And Brad Jones, who's been with him since he got to Memphis, and because he plucked him from the Hustle, and so I guess he's out, and Vitaly Potapenko's out, and I mean it's weird. And he's moving up Jason March from the Hustle.
Yes.
And so brought in Thomas, and let me be honest with you, man. I almost found it comical how many people acted like they knew who this guy was. I mean,
I was like, how many people act like they watch European hoops?
This guy. How did everybody have an opinion on a guy coaching Euro basketball in France?
Everybody likes to talk that they watch FIBA a lot. No one ever watches. No one watches basketball. Or no one watches it. We watch the FIBA World Cup and we watch the Olympics. We don't. No one. If anyone says
nobody knows how Paris did in the Euro Cup. I'm sorry. You won't Jonathan Gavoni might. He's the guy over that watches all the international scouts. But I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't even know what the Leaders Cup was. I was like, is that something? That just seems like it seems like something you win in Mario Kart. Like Leaders Cup. It just doesn't seem.
Oh yeah. And listen, so to be real for a second, like everybody just you take your caps off and quit acting like you know who this guy is when you heard about it. But then everybody goes and does the research, okay? And he does seem promising. And I love outside the box hires.
Yes.
Because it's one thing, and maybe it's my college football mindset, but it's like some of the craziest ideas and concepts come they don't come in the main leagues.
Yes.
You know, everybody's so scared of messing up, you know, and being looked at as a fool in the NFL. So they like try all this stuff. Like there was a high school in Arkansas that never punted. Like that was their coach's thing. It's like we're never going to punt, and the dude's made it up to like college football at this point. Like lower, and so that's like,
wild.
Yeah, and so, yeah. The moral of the story being like not all the greatest minds come from the NBA path, the traditional NBA path. So I'm cool with outside the box things, especially as international as this game has gotten. To think that an American dude is more knowledgeable about basketball than somebody else is asinine. And so I am encouraged by it. I mean, I think it's fun. I just can't go as far as saying like Taylor Jenkins just hired his replacement and he's going to be an amazing coach and the Grizzlies are going to win the NBA championship because of him. Like, I just don't know that much.
The one coach, which I'm glad Anthony Carter is sticking around. I really, really like him. And I don't know. I just don't know it's the day before summer league. Like, what are we what are they supposed to do? Like, are they just go coach them, go meet them and coach them? Like, have they met these guys?
Yeah, surely it's been around for like they've known this for a little while, right? I don't know.
It would be an astoundingly bad bit of business to just make the decision last night. That would be really stupid if I think you're probably right. They were probably sitting on this one for a minute. And I have to imagine that TJ had been with these guys for a long time. He's not just going to surprise them like that. That's crappy.
Yeah. Right before season starts.
Like,
you're out.
That's like really rude. It's really rude behavior.
And of all the coaches to keep, Anthony Carter stays on after they just chose not to draft his son, which I'm sure there's no hard feelings there at all. But like,
I like Anthony Carter. Who did get his son?
Sacramento, and he's going to be out to start the season. Sounds like he's having shoulder surgery. Yeah,
man, that sucks.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Sacramento. We're going to talk about good things. We're going to talk about summer league, dude, because summer league's tonight. I think I like to equate summer league to Christmas. There's, Santa Claus in December, and then there's Vegas hoops in July. It's just it's the most wonderful time of the year. I think you get to watch hoops without any sort of, there's no stakes. There's no stakes. Right. And I find that to be so refreshing because all the rosters are made up of, you've got like 5 guys on the
23-24 Memphis Grizzlies.
Dude, they announced it 12 hours. Let's look at it.
It's basically the lineup that ended the season for the Grizzlies.
I love that Jake LaRavia's back.
Timmy Allen, he's made the team. DeJon Jarreau.
Man, they did all these dudes.
Yeah. I had it pulled up here.
Freddie Gillespie, Trey Jameson. So of the summer league roster, DeJon Jarreau, Trey Jameson, Gigi Jackson, Timmy Allen, Jake LaRavia, Scottie Pippen Jr. Over half of the squad that's going to be on the summer league logged real NBA minutes last year.
Right.
So,
right.
That might actually bode well for him. DJ Jeffries, I know, is a name that people were pretty excited about.
Memphis
you
transfer.
Him. Yeah, you watched him, right? He went to Mississippi State.
Yeah. I think that was his last stop. I want to say he probably had Memphis and I think maybe one more before he got to Mississippi State. So, summer league's exciting, but it's exciting because it's something. I don't know if anybody's tried to watch TV the last 2 weeks, but there's nothing.
I watched bowling and dog jumping for balls in water that was broadcast on us as a sport.
Yeah, it's ESPN 8 stuff that's out
Like,
right now. So the Olympics is coming on, which that is 10 out of 10.
We're gonna have a whole Olympic week once that comes. I'm excited.
And so I just don't know if anybody's watched TV the last couple weeks, but it's dry. And so Summer League's great. And Summer League's great because it also is all day long. Like you can catch a game here and there all day long. And there's no expectation, like you say, but you do get to get a good look at the guys that you drafted. Like Summer League's also a lot more entertaining when you've got rookies that you are excited about. And when it comes to Cam Spencer and Zach Edey and the other guy,
Jalen
Wells. I'm excited to see how all three of those fare, as well as seeing guys like I expect to see guys like Zach Edey and Jake LaRavia and Scottie Pippen and Gigi Jackson dominate. Like that's what I want to see out of them.
Yeah, I want Jake LaRavia to act like Malibu's most wanted out there. I want him to have all the swagger.
Yeah.
But so the thing that bums me out though, because we're talking about these guys, you look at the Grizzlies roster, none of them are making it. There's one two-way spot open, and it's probably going to go to Cam Spencer.
It's got to, I think.
Yeah, they signed Jalen Wells and Zach Edey to contracts. None of these guys they're really not playing for anything because they don't stand a chance to crack this roster. I mean, they might get scooped up by someone else, but it's going to be interesting watching this Grizzlies team when you know that we know who's staying and who's going. We already know. It's already I'd be really surprised if Jemison, Scottie Pippen Jr., Cam, and the rookies. If any of them didn't feel, I'd be really, really surprised if they gave it to the Jeffries kid. I would be really, really shocked.
Oh yeah. I mean, somebody have to really knock their socks off, or maybe there's a surprise cut from another team that they just want to snatch up, but I still think that this is not what we're talking about. But since you brought up two-way spots, I do still think that there's got to be a move out there to consolidate parts of this roster. Yes. I mean, Luke Kennard is not just sitting in limo for no reason. Like you as my dad used to say, poop or get off the pot, that's, cut him or sign him. Like there's no reason to stick around. This roster's, we've been in free agency for over a week now. Like, so you've got to think that something is out there.
And you look who's left. The caliber of player is not the type of caliber of player that Luke Kennard is. It's weird. It's weird to see him still just sitting there. I'm with you because the roster can be consolidated. And I think in turn, you can get Scottie Pippen Jr. up on the main roster slot and reopen a two-way. So that's feasibly there might be one spot, but I just think it's going to be tough. I mean, there's two names that I thought that aren't on the list that was interesting. No Vince. Pretty dope. Like Jake's still in there, and they were drafted same class. Yeah, I thought that was pretty telling. They must feel good about where he's at. And no Tariq Baberovich, the kid they drafted second round from Turkey last year.
The stash guy.
Yeah. Because he played Summer League last year, didn't he? Pretty certain he did.
I mean, not.
I feel like
you remember too far.
Well, see, I think I remember getting frustrated with spelling his name. So I feel like he played. And I'm not going to pretend that I watched any Turkish basketball, but the highlights that I saw,
the highlights circled.
Yeah, the highlights circled, and the kid can hoop. I just thought it was interesting that he wasn't on this list.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's not a guy that I would ever think about, but in a 27-win season like we had, everybody was looking for signs of hope, and he kind of got circulated a lot on Twitter, highlights. Like maybe he's a guy, just keep thinking about this guy, instead of thinking about the current guys that are playing for your Memphis Grizzlies, and so.
I literally forget that we had another draft pick last year. I forget about him,
Oh, me too.
The reaction I had when he was drafted was who? And it's just interesting, if they have him on the roster, then it's like, okay, man, you got to come compete for a spot when there's not a spot available. So at least not bringing him over, he doesn't have to deal with all the dog and pony show, I guess.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Drafted stash is weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that the Grizzlies have ever stashed anybody and actually brought them over since I've been watching them.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if you go and look at some of the dead caps still on the books too, there's some of these second round draft picks that were stashed. Like I think we still have money from Yves Pons still on the books, and he played some. It's weird. Like and Memphis does this. They do this with like, it's not quite wasting a draft pick, but it's kicking it down the road a little bit. I imagine. You know, I don't know. Like if there's not a player you want, why use it on a player that might be good, but it's gonna play overseas, I guess. I
don't know. It's weird.
It's weird.
I don't really know. I don't really know what goes into the calculus of it. To me, it's just like, if you're convinced about a second round pick, then great. Or if you want to take just the ultimate lottery pick, like you did with G.G. Jackson, great. Yep. Like, why do we have to draft somebody and leave them in Turkey forever?
I mean, yeah, because we can't even get to Turkey. Turkey's scary.
I saw a tweet, and it was talking about a player from, I believe it was Spain, who the Orlando Magic rescinded his draft rights, and he was drafted in like 2005, and he's been retired since like 2012. And they finally just like rescinded his draft rights. He's like, okay, he's not coming back. He never came over, you know.
The NBA is weird. It's weird. The game tonight, we're going to see these guys play the Jazz. What do we call it? Failing for what's it called? Failing for flag. They're failing for flag.
Oh,
their whole like
waving the white flag.
Whatever they're doing. Utah Jazz are one of two teams in my mind that are tanking on purpose. They shouldn't be winning. I guess it'll be cool to see Walker Kessler on this Jazz roster. I think the Utah Jazz are not going to supply much of an enjoyable basketball experience this season. I would be shocked if we lost the game tonight. I would, because half of our team played real NBA minutes and beat the Milwaukee Bucks and actual teams. If they were, I would be disappointed. I wouldn't be mad, but I would be disappointed if they dropped the game tonight.
I do think that the Jazz are full force into tanking, although their coach is really good.
I love Will Hardy.
We thought that 2 years ago, and they came out with like the hottest team in basketball for the first couple months of this season. They
made Lauri Markkanen an all-star.
I mean, their summer league rosters is entertaining. I mean, I don't know if you've looked at it. Armando Bacot, who was at North Carolina for a decade.
Yep.
Darius Baisley. Isaiah Collier was their first-round pick from USC. Filipowski.
I forgot they got him. They got him in the second round.
Your Mormon, Utah's Mormon brother. They got him in the early second round. Yeah. Keontae George.
I like Keontae George.
Yeah. There's a bunch of guys that I liked coming out. Walker Kessler, Kenny Lofton Jr.
I saw they had
French. Josh Pierre, Jason Preston, Bryce Sensabaugh, who I believe from Ohio State, and Cody Williams, the high first round pick that they used, the guy out of Colorado. I mean, there's some players on there that I'm interested in.
But is that a team? There's a lot of interesting players, but I don't know if they can play basketball together.
Well, I don't think summer league is not about playing. Spurs as
basketball. It's not about playing basketball.
Don't forget, these people are trying to get contracts.
Yes. Do you think I could play summer league? Be honest.
I think you could play in summer league. Yes. I think
you should see me at the Y, bro. You should see me at the Y. I still got it.
Yeah, you could play in summer league. It would be very bad, but you could. You could do it. It's like, could I sing the national anthem in a Grizzlies game? Yes. Should I? Nope. Oh, no.
Hey, you need to be nicer to yourself. I've heard you have a lovely singing voice.
Oh, well.
I've not heard that from anyone.
Yeah, you should. Somebody lied.
Do you think Kenneth Lofton Jr. is going to have 50 points?
I think he's going to try.
Do you think?
I think he's going to have 50 shots.
I think he might play pissed off. I think he might be mad, and I kind of hope Zach Edey just takes his little man and shoves him down. I kind of would like to see Zach Edey ball out tonight.
It is interesting. I mean, that team's got Walker Kessler, Filipowski, and
Kenny Lofton.
Yeah. You know the shortstop. Come on, remember.
Are you gonna play that three big lineup? Like what the hell are you gonna do if that's?
I mean, it's interesting to see those three guys are all gonna hopefully get some minutes against Edey, and so you're gonna be able to see what he looks like stretched out, or see, because Filipowski is probably going to stand around the 3-point line a lot, and then Lofton's going to try to get physical and bump. You just kind of see how it works, see how it looks in the first game at least.
Before we take a break, what's the most excited, the single most thing you're excited about in the game tonight?
Oh, seeing Zach Edey. I mean, I just
same.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything close, and I think that's probably NBA wide. Is everybody's going to be tuning in and see what Zach Edey looks like? I've
done nothing but drink the Kool-Aid since we drafted him. If this was the Jonestown and they were like, "Hey, Luke, drink this Kool-Aid," I'd be like, "You know what?
Down. Yeah,
you know what, Zach Edey, man. I don't know.
Do we play Miami? Have you seen the schedule? Do we play Miami?
I don't think we played them in the first. I might play them in Vegas, but not in Salt Lake City. I don't think.
Khalil Ware was amazing the other day.
Yeah.
And Buckets is going to have split allegiances if the Grizzlies play them in Vegas.
I think the most the most obvious thing that we all could have predicted was Bronny James being I thought that was pretty funny.
I watched part of that game.
And he signed like a 5-year contract. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to take a break. Summer League's here. We're going to be hitting Summer League every day this week. I think we played today, Wednesday, Thursday. We got 3 games in Salt Lake City, and then we have the Vegas Summer League with every team. California Summer League's on now, and I was really confused because it actually looks like real basketball. But then you see the actual play, and you're like, oh, my God, these guys are bad. It's really funny. But we're going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we're going to talk about our weekends because we're still tired from the weekends, and there was a lot of lasagna and a lot of Mondays happening this weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right after this break, we're going to break it down.
I think people knew, at least towards the end of the year, Penny mentioned his mom being sick and battling throat cancer, I think it was, and different things. But, like, he really opened up about it. I don't know that anybody knew about his mom having a stroke mid-season, leaves a shoot-around, goes home to find his mom on the floor, and then had to basically leave her to still go coach a game.
It's crazy.
Like, I can't – it puts things into perspective. It's just like – some things are more important than basketball. And so, yeah, to your point of him being distracted or focused on taking care of or the health of his mother, like, totally understandable. So no wonder a part of him probably feels personally attacked. I think if that had been out, and I'm not saying he should have put that out, like totally his family,
absolutely not.
Privacy, whatever. I'm just saying, had it been out and people known that, I think he would have been given a lot more slack for what had occurred during the season.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I don't know that there's been a more polarizing prospect in recent memory than Edey. I mean, everyone just had wild opinions on him. You find guys, people whose opinion I really respect in the draft community, who had Zach Edey number 1. You'll also find people whose opinion I really respect who had Zach Edey in the 20s or 30s. So he was all over the place. I settled with him as a top 10 guy in this class. And, I've told a couple people I kind of want to edit my draft board now and put him like top 3 because I just think the Grizzlies are a perfect fit for him. Like this makes so much sense. And I think the more you think about it and the more you look at what he does well and what he brings, it's perfect, man. It really is a perfect fit.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I mean, I love Chip. He's one of those guys that, like, when you see him and then he opens his mouth and it like doesn't fit to me because his voice is deep as all get out, and he reminds me like he should be on Game of Thrones, but he kind of looks like an accountant. I love him. And that dude knows his. He knows his basketball too.
Yeah, he's a big dude with accounting glasses.
It's awesome. It's like really disarming. It's cool. But you can catch him on the Anthony Sane Show. You can catch the $2 Sports Show. You can catch No Bluffin'. That will come out today. Got Grizz 901. Shout out Nate. You had a baby. Catch all this stuff over at bluffcitymedia.co. But back to our show. It's Monday. And other than having Uncle Buck with me, we always talk about Mondays and lasagna. Like Garfield the cat here. See him? He hates Mondays and he loves lasagnas. So we had stuff we loved and that we hated over the weekend.
Yeah.
It was a lot of both for me this weekend. So I'm trying to think. I've been thinking about how to get, this was a real challenge for me all weekend. I was like, okay, what's going to be the lasagna and what's going to be what's going to be your Monday? So I'm going to exclude all the Fort celebrations. On Saturday, we had a surprise birthday celebration for my best friend. He's my oldest friend. We've been friends since when we were 5. Our parents each got divorced. And they went on a date with each other when we were like 5. And that's when we first met. And we was like, oh, this is weird. Shout out, Zach. You're not watching this. It was his birthday. And so we surprised him, all of our buds. We went paddleboarding.
Nice.
Have you been paddleboarding?
No. And I'll be honest with you. I know how it looks easy, but it looks like something I would humiliate myself on.
So it's a lot of core and legs. And one thing you need to know about me, my legs are chicken legs. It's disgusting. And so when I tell you this was the most exhausting experience that I had done, because it was also so hot. It was so hot. And we didn't bring water because it was a surprise. We were focused on the surprise, not the water. And it was just, I didn't even feel cool when I was standing up paddling. I was like, this actually feels like it's harder. So I spent a lot of my time literally laying flat on my back and paddling like this so I could get water over me with each paddle. And it was incredible. And so all that to say, the lasagna the experience was really fun, but the Monday, the experience was also one of the hardest things I've ever done.
It's like a lot of things. It's like you can have fun with the right people, no matter what chore you're doing, Yeah. And so that's awesome.
It was, and it was great because, friends are great, and these are old friends. So it's like, we hadn't been together in a while. So it was good. Even though like you said, we were doing the biggest chore. It was refreshing to be around good peeps.
Yeah. Mine kind of go hand in hand too. We spent the 4th at a campsite.
Oh God!
In rural Mississippi, off the Tennessee Tom Bigby Waterway.
Why?
We went camping. My wife's side of the family wanted to do a short little. This is our quote unquote family vacation for my wife's side of the family. And it's the only time everybody get together. With it being a long weekend, it kind of worked out perfectly. We found a campsite. My dad let me take his camper. We set up. It was a lot of fun. We played out in the water. My 2-year-old especially is old enough to where she's like gotten to be real fun in a pool. And we'll throw her around. She'll start swimming and whatnot. So we just had a blast. It was
throw her around.
It was a great time. Until the so let's see, that was Friday night. Friday night was like
rained.
It's like we opened up the Jumanji book,
dude.
And, it was
a little rain never hurt anybody, but a lot can kill you.
So basically, how it started was my wife starts feeling a little sick Friday night, and then we go to bed, and then I wake up to 2 of my 4 children just calling Ralph in the tin can that is a camper. And like, here we go. So 3 of the 6 that are in my family was in had hysteria.
and it was so hot. It was so hot.
That's what I told my wife. I was like, this is just a tin can, and we're all just having to sit in it. Like the square footage is way too small for all you people to be sick. And so like,
yeah, you're just gonna give it back to each other.
Yeah, we're just gonna go sit outside for a minute. Here's the garbage can. It's 2:00 in the morning. Everybody's asleep. So I was like, everybody take your bags. We're going to sit outside.
All your poor kids, they were probably so confused.
So we were thinking about like potentially staying another night because this was Friday night, and we're all, as soon as that happened, we're like, no, we're going home. And so we packed that sucker up. We were out the door by 10:00 on Saturday morning. Luckily, it was just listen, I started the whole thing last Monday. I had it, and so
but you weren't camping then.
No, I was in my bed. It was great
because being sick while camping in the wilderness is awful. Like, yeah. I don't know how our ancestors survived. I wouldn't have made it past the first state on the Oregon Trail. I wouldn't have made it.
No.
Like, no way. Like,
no, it was bad. And we did have a camper with air conditioning, which we were thankful for that. The last time we went camping this year, we were in a tent with a box fan. And if somebody got sick then, it would have just been bad.
But it didn't smell like vomit. Sorry, yeah. I feel bad for your family. Vomit is awful. Oh, hi.
Yeah. So me and her just hung out. She slept all night. So.
Oh, did you have a good 4th?
Say hey, Luke. Say hey. No.
Her silence speaks volumes.
Fine. You're not going to talk to Luke. Then you just go to your room. Get a timeout.
Yeah. Don't feed her today. Man, I love it. You and I look like we got the shit beat out of us this weekend, and your kid looks like she could run a marathon, man. Kids are wild.
She woke up like that.
We're like, 4-day weekend, and I feel like I'm dying, and kids are like, woo!
Yeah.
Kids are great.
72 hours no sleep. I'm great.
Jesus. Shout out kids. Shout out all the kids out there that are watching this show. They don't watch the show. Yeah. That's going to do it for the daily grind. Thank you, Uncle Buck. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you made it back from your vomit crate of camper. Vomit crate?
Yeah. It sounds
Vomit crate sounds like a grunge band. But yeah, glad you're doing well. Man, I missed you. I missed you guys. I normally get to see you all for 5 days during the week. And then when I did a short week, I literally got up to do a show on Friday and I was like, oh. It's good to see you, brother. Happy Monday. Have a good rest of your week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I will have Rusty Musty Buckets with me tomorrow. We're going to talk about, hopefully, a Grizzlies Summer League victory. Everybody, you can watch the game tonight on Grind City Media's mobile app.
I think that's the only place you can really watch it. I don't know if they're going to have it on YouTube or not, but I know they're going to have it on the mobile app.
I think that's I did every release is so obtusely worded about what streaming, and it's really confusing, but I think it's just on the app.
Right.
But yeah, watch games, support the boys, go Grizz. Have a good Monday. And if you remember 2 things today, just remember to be a little weird and remember to smile. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.